Kathmandu versus Pokhara. Which city is the best city for you to visit when traveling to Nepal? If you're new here guys, my name is Yad and I'm from the UK and I've traveled to Nepal 2 times now, and in total I've created 32 vlogs in the beautiful country of Nepal, and I've been to Kathmandu, Pokhara, Chitwan, back to Por. I've also done trekking all the way to Poon Hill, and I've also done trekking on the way to Everest Base Camp. I managed to do half of it that time, but I will return to hopefully complete the full trail next time. Today we embark on a journey to compare 2 of Nepal's most enchanting cities, which is Kathmandu and Pokhara. We'll explore the culture, natural beauty, and the unique characteristics of these 2 incredible places. So let's dive straight in and let's not waste any more time. So first and foremost, when I make these videos, I like to jump in with a little bit of important information about the major cities that I talk about. Now, firstly, we're going to talk about Kathmandu. Let's take a closer look at this bustling city. Essentially, it's the capital of Nepal. It's known for its rich history, vibrant culture, and ancient architecture. Kathmandu is a city that never ceases to amaze. And Kathmandu's population is a whopping 1.5 million people. Kathmandu is a city of contrast. While the hustle and bustle of Thamel and Durbur Square are magnetic, it's also a city where you can find moments of serenity in its temples and stupas. Now it's time to jump into some of the best things that you can do when visiting Kathmandu for your upcoming travels, and for anybody that's just genuinely interested about some of the interesting things you can do in Kathmandu. So guys, if you are still watching until this point, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because it really does help these videos so I can make more and more of these just for you. So first and foremost, let's jump into number 1. So you can't go to Nepal, especially Kathmandu, and not have amazing food. So first on my list here is recommending a place called Dwarika's Hotel. The restaurant in the hotel is called Krishnarpan. And honestly guys, it's one of the most unique places that me and my wife ever had food in, and it was just incredible. We actually went there to celebrate our anniversary last year, and literally we got seated on the floor, we sat down, had to take our shoes off. It was an incredible experience. We had it was an 8-course meal, and they even prepared a menu for us that had our names on there, which I've never seen anywhere in the world. The staff in there was so friendly and hospitable, and the food, most importantly, tasted absolutely divine. Guys, make sure you go check out the vlog about that hotel. It's on my channel. It's actually the 2nd or 3rd most viewed video here on my channel, so it just shows what an incredible place that is to eat in and just experience. We had such a great time. Number 2 on Kathmandu's list is Swayambunath Temple, also known as Monkey Temple. And the reason it's known as Monkey Temple, for obvious reasons, it's in the words. When you go there, there's plenty of monkeys around, jumping around, creating a little bit of havoc. So just be careful that you don't get too close to them, because wild monkeys tend to snatch things and do funny things with tourists. But overall, it's a great experience. It's very peaceful, very beautiful, and it's something that you have to do when you go to Kathmandu, because Kathmandu personally for me is about the culture, the experience, and actually diving deep in the Nepalese culture and understanding it a little bit more, and go into their stupas. This is something that you must put high on your list, especially on your top 5 things to do when in Kathmandu. Now, whilst we're on the subject of culture and heritage, number 3 on the list is Patan Durbur Square. Patan Durbur Square is a beautiful UNESCO World Heritage Site filled with exquisite Newari architecture and beautiful woodwork. And one thing I have to say, if you're not really a fan of tour guides and getting pestered, just be careful when you go, because the first time when we went there was a couple people that were really pushing, trying to get me and my wife to tour us around. But personally for me, I'm not really a fan of having a tour guide taking me around and having to pay $20–30 for it. I personally enjoy just walking around and reading what's on the wall that actually gives you a bit of information, or even just having a read online before I go. However, if you did want to have a tour guide, they have them plenty available, and the guy was quoting us roughly about $20. I don't know if that's expensive or not, but maybe my Nepalese subscribers, you can please let me know in the comments if that's a good price. Now, number 4 on the list is something that I never used to do before actually coming to Nepal. And it's something that my wife actually pushed me to do on this trip, and it was actually to take a local cooking class. We took a local Nepalese cooking class, and oh my god, what an incredible experience. We cooked some interesting stuff. We cooked dalbar, which was so good. We cooked an egg omelette, but like a Nepalese style omelette. And listen to this, guys, we even cooked chocolate momo. Now, let me know in the comments, guys, if you've ever had chocolate momo. But if you've never heard of it or never even crossed your mind, go check out the vlog where we actually did the cooking. It was so delicious. It was literally incredible. It was super fresh and soft and succulent. So it was just a great experience. And then in the beginning of the cooking class, we went out to some local markets in Kathmandu where we went and picked the vegetables ourselves from the markets, and we just took it into the kitchen where we just started cooking everything. And also, if you're a solo traveler and you potentially want to meet some other travelers, it was actually a really nice experience because there was other expats or other travelers just doing kind of the same thing and doing some cooking. And we met some people from Ireland, from Australia, from New Zealand, I think, and even a Brit was also there. So it was a nice experience overall. It's really interactive, and yeah, it's good fun. I highly recommend doing that when you're in Kathmandu. And guys, there's just something really special that I wanted to share with you guys, and something I've been working on behind the scenes, and that is my one-on-one coaching program. Imagine a life where you can travel the world and get paid for it. Over the years, I've worked with some of the top brands and stayed in some of the most prestigious hotels worldwide. I've grown my social media following to over 300,000 subscribers and followers across my platforms, and now I want to help you achieve the same results. In my 4-week one-on-one coaching program, I'll teach you the ins and outs of content creation and how you can turn your passion for travel into a thriving career. If you're serious about changing your life and embarking on a content creation journey with me one-on-one, send me a DM on my Instagram for more details. It's just here. Let's set up a one-on-one call where I'll speak with you over a Zoom or a Google Meet meeting, and I'll discuss everything that my program entails, from cost, the length, and everything that I'll be teaching. And just one thing worth mentioning, guys, it doesn't matter if you've never done content creation before and you want to do it from scratch and you want to learn the basics, or even if you are in a higher level but there's just some areas that you feel like I can help you with, my program can also be tailored directly for your needs. So anyway, guys, if you want to reach out to me to get more details on my program, again, just DM me on my Instagram, which is just here, and I'll run through all the details with you. But let's jump straight back into today's video. Number 5 on the list is the famous area of Thamel. Now, Thamel is actually one of the major areas in Kathmandu, and it's an area where you will find the nightlife, bars, shops to buy trekking gear, also fantastic accommodation. There's a lot of accommodation available in the Thamel area, and why I love staying there when I visit Nepal, because you can literally just come out of your hotel and everything is very accessible, from coffee shops, from breakfast places to even lunch, dinner. Literally, you don't even have to leave the area if you didn't want to. Sometimes when you have those days and you're just very tired from traveling, it's nice just to be able to come out of your hotel and walk a few steps and have everything on your doorstep. So that's what I love about Thamel, and especially if you're going to Nepal to trek, majority of the good trekking shops are going to be there. And we met some amazing people that had shops there in Thamel, and as you can see here from the video over my speech here, he was incredibly friendly and hooked us up with some great deals when we were there. So guys, if you want to do nightlife, shopping, cafes, all of that jazz, Thamel is your place, and also you have accommodation in abundance. Now, finally on the list is a place called Chandragiri Hills. Now, when we went, unfortunately, it was a little bit musky, the weather, so we weren't able to see what you usually see when you get up there. But basically, it's the cable cars that take you to this incredible viewpoint where you see the whole landscape of Mount Everest from the hill. But when we were there, it was very, very foggy and misty, so we didn't get to actually experience it. But one of my good friends, he's also another vlogger, maybe you guys know him, well, Nomak, he went up there like a year later. I watched his vlogs and I saw the views of how incredible they are. So if you ever do get to Kathmandu and you travel there, just pick the right day to go on the cable cars, because the views look absolutely stunning and it's something that you don't want to miss out on. And I believe it was roughly about $20 per person. to get onto the cable cars. But again, you know, that might change when you go, but that's how much, it was roughly around that much when we went. So guys, that is some of the things that I recommend to do over in Kathmandu. And now I'm just going to briefly touch on the pros of visiting Kathmandu versus the cons. So the pros for me, number one, I will say it has an international airport. So you can fly to Kathmandu from majority of places around the world because it's super accessible. And you will know why I'm actually mentioning this in just a moment when I start talking about Pokhara. Secondly, it's the capital city of Nepal. So typically when you ever travel to a new country, it's always nice to visit the capital city because obviously there's always so much going on, there's so much history, there's so much that you want to experience, and it's always nice to touch down in the capital before you start branching out to other places. Third, I would say, is the diversity is incredible with so many different types of cuisines and things to try and different types of people to meet. There's just so many people there around the world that are visiting, typically to do trekking. So it's just a great place overall. It has a very friendly vibe. And also another thing I want to add on the list, if you are trekking, it's a great place to land in Kathmandu because it helps you acclimatize. I believe Kathmandu's altitude is roughly around 1400 feet. It's a great place to acclimatize before you start trekking and heading over to Lukla, which is the places where you start trekking over to Everest. And finally, the pro to Kathmandu, I would say there is so many different accommodations available, from luxury to budget travel. So depending on whichever spectrum you want to choose when visiting Kathmandu, they've got you covered, and they're so affordable. They've got beautiful hotels for the price of like $30-40 per night. And if you want to go to ultra luxury, they have that available too. And there's plenty of hostels for the budget travelers as well. Now, jumping into the cons of staying in Kathmandu. So firstly, I would say was the air quality. Every time I visited Kathmandu, it's been 2 times now, I've always felt a little bit queasy and a little bit sick, and it's just every time I go on like a long car drive, it's just so busy, the roads, and a lot of the cars don't, well, the taxis don't have air conditioning, so we just have to have the window down. And the issue is when you have the window down and you're sat in traffic for a long period of time, obviously you've got all the fumes and the pollution coming in. I just feel like Kathmandu is really polluted. And that is probably the only downfall, I would say, to Kathmandu, is how polluted it is and how incredibly busy it is. But again, it's understandable because it's the capital city. Everybody wants to go there to work and make money. So it's just a very hectic place. But I do feel like I just wish that the government would kind of just clean up some of the areas just so the pollution rates would go down a little bit and it would just be more pleasant for the locals that live in Kathmandu. So now that we've completed Kathmandu, guys, it's time to head west to the tranquil city of Pokhara. Pokhara is often referred to as the city of lakes. And Pokhara is also the gateway to the Annapurna region. It's also known for serene lakes, stunning mountain views, and a laid-back atmosphere. Pokhara's population is much smaller than Kathmandu, boasting a population of only 476,000 people, which is far less than Kathmandu has. But personally, I absolutely loved Pokhara. And I can truly say I can see myself spending a considerable amount of time in Pokhara and even potentially living there for like 3 to 6 months and traveling around Nepal and just having Pokhara as kind of like a base, because it was just such a serene and beautiful place. And you're going to find out why shortly. Now guys, let's dive straight into Pokhara's adventures and things that you guys have to do when visiting this incredible, enchanting city. And guys, if you're still watching up until this point and you forgot to press the subscribe button, don't forget to hit that just down below, because it honestly helps these videos so much so I can make more videos for you guys. But anyway, let's dive in to the best things in Pokhara. So number 1 on the list is Phewa Lake. This is the first thing I saw when I visited Pokhara, as my hotel was literally walking distance. I just came down the hill and there it was. It was just such a gorgeous lake. It's in the heart of Pokhara and you can take a boat ride or simply relax by the lakeside with the magnificent Annapurna range in the backdrop. But when I was on the boat, I didn't manage to see the backdrop. But again, I saw one of my good friends vlog when he was there, and wow, the backdrop that you see is just so beautiful. But anyway, I did get to see the backdrop of the Annapurna range on another morning, which you'll be seeing, which I'm sure you've seen in this video so far in some of the beautiful visuals that I've shown of Nepal so far. Number 2 on the list is a place called Sarangot Viewpoint. Now, this viewpoint, again, I seem to always get to viewpoints when it's either too cloudy or I just miss the view. So this is a beautiful viewpoint where you take a cable car all the way up, and once you get there, you get to see the whole the Annapurna range. But again, when I arrived around, I think it was around midday, and the clouds had just appeared and just blocked my whole view. But in the morning when I woke up, I saw the beautiful Annapurna range from my hotel's balcony, and I saw the fishtails. Is it fishtail or shark's tail mountain, which is the holy mountain which nobody's actually allowed to climb. But wow, what a view when I woke up and I saw it. But I can only imagine when you get to Sarangot viewpoint and you get there for, I would recommend, if you want to go there for roughly 5-6 a.m. in the morning before the clouds have started to settle around the mountains. Because typically what happens with these viewpoints and the mountains is, as the day goes on and the heat rises, the clouds start to hug the mountains, and then you just don't get to see the view. But anyway, get there for around 5-6 in the morning, and the view that you'll have, honestly, you will not be disappointed. Now, number 3 on the list, if you guys don't already know, Pokhara is very, very well known for incredible high adrenaline activities like bungee jumping, paragliding, mountain biking, rafting, kayaking, and also hot air balloon. And also I believe you can get a helicopter ride all the way to Everest or Annapurna Range, and it's just incredible. But unfortunately, I didn't have enough time when I was there to do some of the crazy activities, and I was there on my own. So I usually like to do these things when I'm with a friend or with my wife, but again, this time I was on my own. So next time I come back, maybe I will do some of the high adrenaline activities. But again, if you're into that type of stuff and you're an adrenaline junkie, then Pokhara is definitely for you, because they've got so many incredible stuff. I've seen my other vlogger friends that have gone to Pokhara and done the bungee jumping and all of those crazy stuff. Well, that's one thing I probably wouldn't do, is the bungee jumping, because I just can't see myself literally jumping off a bridge or jumping off a point just with one string. I mean, let me know in the comments, guys, if you're from Nepal and you've been to Pokhara and done the bungee jumping. Please let me know your experience, what it's like, because I've watched people's videos do it and they just look like they are scared for their life. By the time they get to the bottom, it looks like their soul has literally left their body. So I'm not sure if I'm ready for that experience yet. Now, number 4 on the list is Lakeside. Lakeside is a great spot in Pokhara where you can find loads of nice cafes, restaurants and bars, and which is also on the lake, so you have a beautiful view while relaxing in the restaurants. And they've got a little bit of a nightlife around that area, so if you wanted to have some drinks with some friends or just enjoy a bit of fun, they've got you covered as well. Next on the list is actually trekking from Pokhara, because Pokhara is an access point for a lot of the major treks, such as the Annapurna Base Camp trek and also the Poon Hill trek, which I actually did this year, which was absolutely incredible, and it was probably one of the most incredible things I've ever done in my life. I did half of Everest Base Camp last year and I thought that was incredible, but wow, this trip to Poon Hill was just amazing. Where we woke up in the morning, I think it was like 4 a.m. We trekked all the way up to the hill and we just saw that out of this world experience. I just thought I was on another planet. And honestly, that's something that Nepal will give you. It will give you the feeling when you reach these places like you are on another planet. And that is one thing I love about Nepal. So now, guys, I'm going to jump into the pros and the cons of visiting Pokhara. So let's start off with the pros. My number 1 thing is the air quality. It's so fresh, so beautiful, and it's such a contrast from Kathmandu, being away from the hustle and bustle and the pollution. So it's just so nice to walk out the hotel early in the morning. Sometimes you might get that crisp air by the lake, where you can just walk down the Lakeside area, just go for a walk, enjoy a nice breakfast somewhere along one of the cafes. It's just so amazing. Secondly, there's also so many nice funky restaurants, funky breakfast places to get fresh juice, nice acai bowls, and also amazing dinner spots. There's just so many different places to eat at, and again, it also is very affordable. I found that the restaurants in Pokhara were cheaper than the restaurants in Kathmandu. Maybe somebody may differ from that in terms of opinion, but personally for me, I found that the restaurants I was eating at in Pokhara were much more affordable. And the quality of the food was definitely higher in Pokhara. And another pro to staying in Pokhara is a lot of the trekking, as I mentioned earlier, are accessible directly from Pokhara. So you don't have to fly from one place or take a long journey from, for example, Kathmandu, because there isn't many trekking points, I believe, that's accessible from Kathmandu. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but typically you have to fly places or take a long drive to reach somewhere. Now, the cons of actually staying in Pokhara. So I would firstly say is the airport. There is no international airport in Pokhara, which is such a shame. There's a domestic one, so you can fly from Kathmandu to Pokhara. And obviously earlier, I think just over a year ago now, there was that horrible plane accident. Rest in peace for the families and the people that lost their lives. It was just such a horrible thing to see. But again, there's just no international flights where you can fly directly from, for example, Dubai or London directly into Pokhara. It would just be really nice if Pokhara would open up a international airport, because that would just be amazing. Because I would typically always probably fly into Pokhara moving forward, because there's just so many more things and access points from Pokhara. And number two, I would say, is a con. Maybe again, someone may disagree with me, but on this point, I would say there was a little bit less accommodation choices in terms of the quality comparison to Kathmandu. There was a vast choice that you could choose from when it came to accommodation. Well, Pokhara, I didn't find there was that many. Maybe it was a time of year, or I'm not exactly sure the reason, but yeah, I just felt like the accommodation options were not as vast as Kathmandu. But again, I mean, these are just some minor cons, nothing too major. So there you have it, guys, a brief comparison of Kathmandu and Pokhara. Each city offers a unique experience, and it ultimately depends on your preference and what you seek when you go to Nepal and what type of adventures you want to seek when you go there. Now, personally for me, guys, I'm going to give you my decision on which city I prefer. Personally, I prefer Pokhara. So Pokhara is the winner for me in these two cities, and it's mainly because I just loved everything about it, the type of vibe. I just felt like I was on holiday there and just had a really nice experience walking down the strip and being by the lakes. It was just so much more peaceful, not as hectic as Kathmandu. I mean, I love Kathmandu as well, but I've been there now a couple times, and I'd probably only go back there just to meet some friends, or just to probably visit the Thamel area, because it's quite fun. It's got a good nightlife, and it's just quite hustle and bustly if I want to do that. But I probably wouldn't visit Kathmandu as my number one choice again, just because I've already been twice. I'll probably directly go to Pokhara again, because it was just such a chilled out, cool vibe. And also a lot of the trekking spots start from Pokhara for the type of treks I want to go on. So again, that's just my choice. I would love to hear what you guys think. If you've ever been to Nepal, do you prefer Pokhara or do you prefer Kathmandu? Now, there you have it, guys. There is the comparison. Thank you so much for joining me today on this video. If you enjoyed it, as always, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and the bell notification so you don't miss out on any of these videos in the future. And as always, guys, peace out and good night wherever you're watching from. I can't wait to see you on the next vlog. Peace out.